Welcome back to the Roar Radio Breakfast Show with your hosts, Ian Story and James Langford. Roar FM.
Went to Blaydon Races, 'twas on the 9th of June 1862 on a summer's afternoon. We took the bus from Balmbra's and we was heavy laden. Away we went along Collingwood Street that's on the road to Blaydon. Oh lads, you should have seen us ganning, passing the folks along the road just as they were standing. All the lads and lasses there and always smiling faces, ganning along the Scotswood Road to see the Blaydon Races.
Mr. Story, have you hijacked the playlist this morning? That wasn't...
Are you all right there, Mr. Langford? How are you going?
Is that Mr. Story I'm talking to?
It is good morning, everybody. Welcome to Raw Radio. It is the 9th of June, and it is the Blaydon Races. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. Did you understand anything, Mr. Langford, on that?
I don't really. I think I understand the singers more than I understand you when you came on first. It's quite a broad Geordie accent. Now I don't know anything about these Blaydon Races. I'm totally in the dark about it.
Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit about them later on, but I think it's now time for our headlines.
Yeah, it is.
So it's 9th of June. The time is 12 minutes past 8. Here are your headlines for today. Now, if you go down to the swamp today, you're in for a blocky surprise. A huge new update has arrived in Minecraft with new biomes, blocks, and mobs. The wild update arrived on Bedrock and Java versions of the game on the 7th of June in the 1.19 patch. I don't know what any of that means. Now, the update was first announced at Minecraft Live in October last year, and it is the next big update after Caves and Cliffs. Now, Wales have booked their place at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar for the first time in 64 years. The squad, led by superstar Gareth Bale, beat Ukraine 1-0 in the playoff final in Cardiff. Bale described the game as the greatest result in history for Welsh football. Now, Wales will play in Group B alongside USA, Iran, and England.
Ooh.
That will take place in November and December of this year. Now, it's the time of the year when the world takes a moment to celebrate its oceans and reflect on how best to protect them. Yesterday, events took place across the world to mark World Oceans Day. This year's theme is Revitalization, collective action for the ocean. It highlights how important it is to restore and look after the world's oceans and how important that is. Now, the event was hosted in person at the United Nations headquarters in New York and broadcast live. And finally, a new headline act is being sought for the Mouth of the Tyne Festival after the Lighthouse family pulled out. Now, the duo, who formed in Newcastle in 1993, were due to perform on Saturday the 9th of July, but announced they were no longer touring or making music. They'd split up and therefore couldn't perform. Now, Keane, Eliza Shaddad, Sophie Ellis-Bextor and Newton Faulkner are still set to perform on the remaining nights of the 3-day event in Tynemouth.
Do you not get the call? Do you not get the call, Mr. Story, to perform? No?
Well, I might be presenting it, who knows? And now it's time for the weather.
It's lovely, isn't it? It's not very often I've said that this year. It's wonderful outside. It will be a maximum today of 27 degrees. Make sure you're wearing a hat if you go outside. I know on our lower campus we have a colour run today, so it'll be a lovely day for that. It's currently already 17 degrees. We're talking about these oceans here, and of course the Lighthouse family. And I mean, I thought about playing the Lighthouse family. I thought we're actually too cool on Raw to play that. I mean, we're not. The audience wouldn't appreciate it. So we're going to go with something even more cool than the Lighthouse family. It's Billy Ocean.
Billy, ocean. The theme today is oceans, but it's also about accents. Now, the dialect I was using at the beginning of the show is called the Geordie dialect. It's from Newcastle, where I'm from. Now, the Blaydon Races is a famous run. It's only 6 miles, which is 10 kilometers. It started in 1862. So today, on the 9th of June, it will be celebrating its 160th anniversary. And there are lots of songs about it. But the Geordie dialect comes from, do you know where, Mr. Langford?
Newcastle. The obvious answer. It's not.
Yeah,
is it?
well, those of you who perhaps know a little bit about Scandinavian languages might recognize some of the verbs. So we use the verb gan, to go. It's the same in Norwegian. And it's come down from the Vikings. And it's a derivative of Old Norwegian.
Who are?
Who are indeed, because you, Mr. Langford, are of course from the West Country.
I am too. Yeah,
very distinctive.
I mean, I was thinking about gander. Yeah, I'm going to have a little gander at. I'll have to have a little gander at the Blaydon Races today. And I know there's a few staff from the West Country working at the International School of Moscow. Sound like I'm working for Radio Somerset now. It's like, yeah.
For those who have never seen Mr. Langford's assembly video on planting potatoes, have really missed a treat. So I recommend you watch that. You got any West Country songs for us, Mr.
Well, we have got a little song there. Just before I play the West Country anthem, do drop us a line if you have a particular accent that you'd like to maybe come and demonstrate. I know teachers and students at the International School of Moscow, you have been shared a link this morning. You can drop in, give us an accent. Test us out if we can guess where you're from. Just drop in on the Zoom link and we'll hopefully get you on the air. Otherwise, via the YouTube comments, we're waiting for your comments. Yeah, this is the West Country anthem.
I drove my tractor through your haystack last night. I threw me pitchfork at your dog to keep quiet. Now something's telling me that you're avoiding me. Come on now, darling, you got something I need. 'Cause I got a brand new combine harvester and I'll give you the key. Come on now, let's get together in perfect harmony. I got 20 acres and you've got 43. Now I got a brand new combine harvester and I'll give you the key.
Oh, that's quite
Keep it
simple,
I
isn't it,
laugh.
Mr. Langford?
I'll stick by you, I'll give you all that you need. We'll have twins and triplets.
What a song. The Wurzels.
I know.
Yeah, the Wurzels. Now, of course, English is the language of the International School of Moscow, and we do require everybody to speak English when they are on campus. And those who are not from the UK or an English-speaking country, but are English speakers, might not know where some of our teachers are from because you don't pick up the accents. And our accents on this campus range from anything from South African English accents to Australian English accents, Canadian, of course, Mr. Putzer, but then the regions of the UK, going all the way down to West Country and then going all the way up to the north of Scotland. I mean, if you hear Mr. Beattie, he's got a very strong accent. And then we have some teachers from Liverpool. Do you know the accent, the name of the accent there, Mr. Langford?
Yeah, Scouse, isn't it? Liverpool.
Scouse, it is.
Scouse.
And there's a dish called lapscouse. And lapscouse is a stew made from meat and potatoes. And again, Scouse was another language brought over by the Vikings.
I once read an article that actually most of the call centres in the United Kingdom are based in, I think, Newcastle or Northern Ireland, one of those two places, because people sound friendlier.
Yes, well, we do, and we are friendly. I mean, we are very, very friendly, and we'll call people things like Hinny. How are you, Hinny? And are you Al Reet? And it's just very endearing, isn't it?
Just a little good morning from I think Edgar down on is that Lower Campus? Just give us a little thumbs up, and I mean, yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Now, if you've got an accent, or you want to tell us something about a part of the United Kingdom, or part of any country that has a particular dialect or accent, do drop us a message on the YouTube, or drop directly in to the show today via the link. Be brave, everybody.
Yeah, and maybe try and find out where your teachers are from, not just the country, but the region. And what you might find you do is you might start picking up little bits of their accent. It's quite an interesting thing as language. But of course, today we're also talking about the oceans. Before we do our next song, we have a birthday.
You have one birthday today on Upper Campus in Year 7, Nasir. Nasir, you are 12. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you, Nasir. And we have had a message in from Miss Bevington. She says, personally, I think the Brummie accent is best. You're right, Bob. That's my best Brummie accent, and I apologize for that. There we go.
We've just got a voice message that comes in on the voicemail from Mr. Putzer. I'm gonna check that one first before we give that away. We got a song now.
We got a song, yes. Now, what do you like having by the ocean, Mr. Langford?
Oh, by the ocean, by the seaside, a nice cold glass of juice or lemonade, something like that.
Well,
yes.
Normally, I would have an iced lolly, but this group likes cake.
Do they really?
Mm.
Here we go.
Oh no, see you walking around like it's a funeral. Not so serious, girl, why those feet cold? We just getting started, don't you tiptoe. Waste time with the masterpiece, to waste time with the masterpiece. You should be rolling me, you should be rolling me. You're a real life fantasy, you're a real life fantasy. But you're moving so carefully, let's start living dangerously. Talk to me, baby. I'm going up on this sweet, sweet baby. Whoa. Let's lose our minds and go crazy, crazy.
Keep on hoping we'll be cake by the ocean.
Walk for me, baby. I'll be pretty, you'll be Naomi. Whoa. Let's lose our minds and go crazy, crazy.
Keep on hoping we'll be cake by the ocean.
Hot damn. See you licking frosting from your own hands. Want another taste? I'm begging, yes, ma'am. I'm tired of all this candy on the dry land, dry land. Oh. Waste time with the masterpiece, to waste time with the masterpiece. You should be rolling me, you should be rolling me. You're a real life fantasy, you're a real life fantasy. But you're moving so carefully, let's start living dangerously. Talk to me, baby. I'm rolling up on this sweet, sweet baby. Whoa. Let's lose our minds and go crazy, crazy.
Keep on hoping we'll be cake by the ocean.
Walk for me, baby. Walk for me now. I'll be pretty, you'll be Naomi. Whoa. Let's lose our minds and go crazy, crazy.
Keep on hoping we'll be cake by the ocean. Keep on hoping we'll be cake by the ocean. Keep on hoping we'll be cake by the ocean.
So delicious. Talk to me, girl. Talk to me, baby. I'm rolling up on this sweet, sweet baby. Whoa. Let's lose our minds and go crazy, crazy.
All right, you are listening to the Raw Radio. It is 27 minutes past 8. We've had a shout out from Mr. Powell from Essex. Miss Powell, never ever forget your roots. I know you said that you've tried to get rid of your accent, but I think the Essex accent is fabulous. What do you reckon, Mr. Langford?
I've got to like a little bit of Essex. It's very a lot of TV stars and film stars from Essex. It's got a I'd say quite a good accent to have if you want to get into the industry of television and things. We've had a message on the voicemail that's come through. We do have all, we haven't had any faxes through yet, but we've had a voicemail message. My very own Mr. Putzer is going to show us a couple of accents. Here we go.
Hi, Mr. Langford, how are you, mate? I can do a bunch of accents, like this is my Scottish accent. Oh, yeah, g'day, mate. Throw another shrimp on the barbie. Oh, yeah, can also do an Irish accent. Oh, how are you, mate? Why don't you throw another shrimp on the barbie? I can do a Japanese accent. Oh, yeah, mate, how are you? Why don't you throw another shrimp on the barbie? Loving our radio today, sir.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Putzer. That's great. I think you might need to work on your accents, but we'll get the drama department to support you with that. No problem. But thank you very much for your.
It's definitely barbecue weather today, though, isn't it? I mean, it's a lovely day.
It is. I would love a good barbecue. Maybe barbecue for lunch.
We had roast vegetables on the barbecue as well. It's not. We are, all diets. We cater for all diets at the International School of Moscow. Have we got some facts? Is it time for facts?
We have, indeed.
Let's put a little bit of music on. What should we do? Ooh, let's go.
Now, did you know that climbing a tree can help you to remember things?
Don't try that today, everyone.
Please don't.
Seeds have brains that tell them when to sprout.
Interesting. Now I've got the third fact, and I knew I would get this one because you always give me a tricky word to pronounce. I believe it's apeirophobia. It is the fear of eternity.
Yes. Because of the way their eyes are positioned, pigs can't see the sky.
Oh, that's sad. You can't see the sky. You have to turn them upside down.
You can't go turning pigs upside down.
I think pigs sunbathe though, don't they? Surely they must.
They do. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they just enjoy the heat. They always are looking. Their noses are always down to the ground. Yeah. If you do see any pigs upside down in your travels this summer, you'll know who to call.
Yeah, and leave them alone because they are looking at the sky. Now, cities are hotter from Monday to Friday and cooler on the weekend.
I can believe that, actually. There's a bit of science in that, isn't there? Traffic and people in traffic and buildings with people in them. So, yeah. The city of London on a Sunday when I was at university used to be empty. Absolutely empty. On this day in 1934, and here's an interesting accent, the first appearance of Donald Duck in a cartoon. You're on fire this morning, Mr. Story. The Wise Little Hen, it was called.
Everyone loves Donald Duck. And on this day in 1958, Purple People Eater by Sheb Wooley hit #1 in the USA.
We're going
to play Purple People Eater by Sheb Wooley, and I dread to think what's about to come onto the air.
Oh, I was so intrigued. We have to give this a play. It was #1, 1958 today.
Well, I saw the thing coming out of the sky. It had one long horn and one big eye. I commenced to shaking and I said, ooh-wee. It looks like a purple people eater to me. It was a one-eyed, one-horn flying purple people eater.
One-eyed, one-horn flying purple people eater.
A one-eyed, one-horn flying purple people eater sure looks strange to me.
One-eyed.
Well, he came down to earth and he lit in a tree. I said, Mr. Purple People Eater, don't eat me. I heard him say in a voice so gruff,
I wouldn't eat you 'cause you're so tough.
it was a one-eyed, one-horn flying purple people eater.
One-eyed, one-horn flying purple people eater.
A one-eyed, one-horn flying purple people eater sure looks strange to me.
One horn.
I said, Mr. Purple People Eater, what's your line? He said, eating purple people and it sure is fine. But that's not the reason that I came to land.
I want to get a job in a rock and roll band.
Well, bless my soul, rock and roll, flying purple people eater, pigeon-toed, undergrowth, flying purple people eater.
He wears short shorts.
Friendly little people eater, what a sight to see. And then he swung from the tree and he lit on the ground and he started to rock, really rocking around. It was a crazy ditty with a swinging tune.
Sing a bop bop a boop a lap a loom bam boom.
Well, bless my soul, rock and roll, flying purple people eater, pigeon-toed, undergrowth, flying purple people eater.
I like short shorts.
Flying purple people eater, what a sight to see.
Purple people.
Well, he went on his way and then what do you know? saw him last night on a TV show. He was blowing it out, really knocking them dead, playing rock and roll music through the horn in his head.
Well, there we go. That was number one in 1958. It was the One-Eyed Longhorn Purple People Eater.
Introducing you to new music, well, new old music here at Raw Radio.
Absolutely. It is 33 minutes past 8. This is Raw Radio, serving our campuses across Moscow in Krylatska and Rosinka, and playing out to our listeners around the world, including my mum. There we
I was
go.
going to mention next week, Mr. Story, we have a student who's going to be on air. It's Ivan or Vanya in year 7.
Oh,
He's going to be taking the airways. I love it when students volunteer or put themselves forward. And we had some fantastic shows and presenters that have been on. So there are only a couple of weeks left to get involved, actually 3 weeks. So Vanya will be on the air next week. So be sure to tune in from 10 past 8 next Thursday.
And I guess the audience is probably relieved as well. They don't want to be hearing us with our choice of music every week, do they?
It's great music.
We are coming to the end, and whilst we've talked a bit about accents and dialects, set you all a challenge, one of the other themes, of course, today was about the oceans. And of course, our water supplies are vital, and it's really important that we use water appropriately and sparingly. So always have a think about how you can save water as we aim to be environmentally conscious.
Reminds me of a story, actually, when I wasn't that young, in my early 20s. I was camping in Scotland, having a shave as you do. And a man shouted at me. He said, "Use the plug." Talking about accents, because he wasn't happy. I was just wasting water. He said, "Use the plug. It's there. You've got to use it." I was like, "Okay."
Was he from Scotland, or was he visiting from West Yorkshire?
I was trying to do my Scottish accent got misplaced a couple of 100 miles too far south. But
all right, love. Don't use water.
Don't waste the water. Yeah, I can't do it. But I was frightened. I think I was about 22 already. This guy was like, "Don't waste the water. Use the plug." And I was like, "What plug?" But it's actually true. Don't waste water, guys. You don't need to let the water run if you're having a shave. Anyway, it's
all seriousness. Please consider how you use water responsibly. Now we are going to finish off with a song by a really great group who sadly has split up, and they didn't tell the organisers of the concert at the North Tyne Festival. But this is a Lighthouse Family, and got a funny story actually. I sold the lead singer a pair of shoes once when I worked for Clark's Shoes. I didn't know who he was until my boss told me.
Other shoes are available.
Yeah, and of course other shoes are indeed available. And he picked a nice pair. It weren't bad. And I told him I liked his music, and he even bought some shoe polishers. I remember.
Really? I mean, their music was very polished. I'm going to stick it on there in the background.
Yeah. It's a great group, and you have been a great audience today. Thank you for your messages. Thank you for voicemail messages as well. Thank you to you, Mr. Langford.
Thank you, Story.
Have a wonderful day and a wonderful end to the week. Enjoy the weather, and we'll see you very soon. Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone.
It is a different color. One day we're gonna get so high. And at the end of the day, remember the days when we were close to the edge, and we wonder how we made it through. And at the end of the day, remember the way we stayed so close.